Now, if you've been told you need a big following to get speaking gigs, that's the creator economy talking, because the default play is basically post more content, grow an audience, get known, then you earn stages. But organizers don't book you because you're famous. They book you because you are a safe decision and you help their event win. And once you see it that way, you can build a predictable pipeline of stages without chasing followers and without burning out. By the end of this, I'll show you a simple system you can run every week. I call it Pipe, the booking framework inside my brand to stage system that turns I don't have a platform into I'm getting invited into aligned rooms consistently. So you know where we're heading. First, I'll show you what organizers actually optimize for. So you stop trying to look famous and start looking bookable. Then I'll give you the 2-lane pipeline that creates speaking opportunities in the next 30 to 90 days and builds a runway to bigger stages. And finally, I'll show you the proof pack that replaces follower count with confidence signals so committees say yes without overthinking it. All right, let me show you why this matters so much with the quick pattern I see all the time. I've watched this pattern so many times, it's almost predictable. Someone reaches out to me and says, Richie, hey, I only have 800 followers, so I'm probably not ready for stages. And I get it, because online it feels like follower count is a receipt. Like if you don't have numbers, you don't have credibility. But here's the thing, organizers ain't sitting there doing influencer math. They're thinking, will this speaker understand our audience? Will they deliver? Will they make me look smart for booking them? That's it. So the real question isn't how many people follow you. It's how easy are you to say yes to? And that's exactly what Pipe builds. So here's a frame. There are 4 moves and each one makes it easier to book. Let's dive in. So the first letter in Pipe is position. And this is where most people lose a booking before it even starts, because booking committees don't forward nuance, they forward clarity. Here's what booking a speaker actually feels like on the organizer side. They're not sitting there thinking, is this person inspiring? They're thinking, will this land with our audience? Is it going to be practical? And can I defend this decision internally? So when your pitch is fuzzy, like I speak about leadership and mindset, you're making them do the work of figuring out what the room actually gets. And busy people don't do extra work. So position is simple if you're doing the thinking for them. So what you want is one clear idea they can repeat in the meeting. Like, oh, this person helps operators solve this problem and the room leaves with these outcomes. That's the whole game. So here's a practical pointer. When you reach out to an organizer, don't send a bio. Don't send your life story. Send clarity. In plain English, who it's for, problem solved, and what are the outcomes people actually leave with. And if you're thinking, okay, Richie, what do I actually tell an organizer? Here's how I think about position. You're not pitching a TED talk. You're making it easy for a busy organizer to understand you in 5 seconds and forward you in 10. So when you reach out, you want your message to hit 4 things. Who it's for, what problem it solves, what 3 outcomes a room gets, and how long it is. That's it. So the outreach email can literally open like this. Hey, Sarah, quick one. I run a practical session for operators and founders on getting booked to speak without needing a big following. It's 45 minutes, super practical, and by the end, they'll leave with 3 things. A clear angle organizers can say yes to, a simple 2-lane outreach pipeline, and a proof pack that replaces follower count. Notice what I'm doing. I'm not overselling. I'm not listing credentials. I'm just making the outcome obvious. That's position, clarity that travels. If you can picture the room and repeat the benefit, you are positioned. All right. The I is what about invite? And this is a part where we stop treating speaking like this mysterious thing that either happens to you or doesn't. We're going to make it boring in a good way. Now, here's a pattern I see all the time. Someone finds a massive conference, they spend 2 hours crafting the perfect pitch, they send it. and then it's crickets. So they take it personally, or they assume, well, I guess I need more followers. No, what you needed was a pipeline, because organizers don't move at the speed of your motivation. They move at the speed of calendars, committees, and budget cycles. So let's match that. Invite is simple. You run 2 lanes at the same time. Think of it like training. One lane is your fast reps. The other lane is your long-term strength work. Lane A is 30 to 90 days. Smaller rooms, field events, community sessions, journal programs. They happen more often and they're easier to get into. Lane B is 5 to 12 months. These are bigger conferences, flagship events, keynotes. Those are planned way further out. Now, if you only run lane B, you feel like nothing is working. If you only run lane A, you stay busy, but you won't scale. 2 lanes is how you stay sane and grow. Okay, here's what you do this week. No drama. Step 1 is build a list of 30 targets. 20 in the fast lane, 10 in the runway lane. Step 2 is every week send 10 invites. 7 to lane A, 3 to lane B, and keep the outreach stupid simple. You already did the hard part with position. So your message is basically who it's for and the problem, the 3 outcomes, then this line. Want me to send a 60-second clip and a 1-paragraph agenda blurb? Now, that line matters because you're not asking them to make a yes-no decision on the spot. You're giving them the 2 things they need to take the next step. Now, let's talk follow-up. This is where most people get weird. Follow up like a calendar and not like a desperate person. Something like, hey, just bumping this to the top of your inbox. Happy to send the clip and the agenda blurb if it's useful. That's it. Now, invite is a share from, let me try to get booked, to I run outreach every week until the calendar fills. And once you're doing that, follower count stops mattering because you're not waiting to be discovered. You're creating shots on go. All right, we're now on the second P, which is all about prove. Because once you start sending invites, the organizer next thought is always the same. Okay, but how do we know this person can actually deliver? That's proof. You know what organizers are really afraid of? It's not that you're not famous. It's that you are a risk. A risk that they put you on the agenda and that you show up with a generic copy-paste talk or you clearly don't get the audience. And now they've got angry attendees and a program chair who's embarrassed. So when you're thinking I don't have a following, what they are thinking is please don't make this weird. So proving isn't about showing off. It's about reducing perceived risk. Follower count is a noisy signal. Proof is a clean signal. And the proof organizers actually care about is really simple. 1, do you understand this audience? 2, can you deliver in a real room? And thirdly, will the session create outcomes and not just applause? If you give them these signals, you become the safe pick, even if your Instagram has tumbleweeds. So here's what you build once and you reuse every time. I call it the proof pack. 4 pieces, keep it tight. 1 is a program-ready paragraph. 1 paragraph they can paste straight into the agenda. Number 2 is 3 outcomes, not topics, outcomes. And number 3 is 1 60 to 90-second clip, not a Caesar reel, just you delivering a real moment because a room tells the truth. And 4 is 2 testimonials that describe change, not they were amazing. More like after this session, we did X and Y improved. And here's the operator move. In your outreach, you don't dump all this. You just say, want me to send a 60-second clip and 1 paragraph blurb? Because once they see you deliver and they can paste you in the program, you've removed most of the risk. Now, prove is a shift from trust me to here's the evidence. Well, and finally, the E here is all about executing. And this is a part nobody wants to talk about because it's not sexy. But it's a difference between cool, I spoke once, and I get rebooked, I get referred. This becomes a pipeline. Organizers don't remember every speaker. They remember the speakers who were easy to work with, easy to slot in the agenda, easy to communicate with. Because behind the scenes, an event is basically a moving train. And the fastest way to never get invited back is to add friction to the train. So execute is not about being the most charismatic person on stage. It's about being rebookable. Rebookable means no surprises, no vague expectations, no last minute chaos, and the audience actually feels like the session was built for them. Now, if you do that, the organizer doesn't just clap, they relax. And relaxed organizers book you again. Now, here's a system, 2 small moves. First move is set a clean default. So you want them to know exactly what they're buying. So your default is 45 minutes plus optional Q&A. No negotiation spiral, no confusion. Move number 2 is send a 1-page de-risk note a week before. Not a long doc, just 1 page. It answers who this is for and who it's not for, what's explicitly out of scope, and 3 audience questions you reference live. That 1 page kills the fear of bait and switch. And then add 1 small interaction moment, nothing that hijacks the schedule, just enough to make it feel live. It could be something like a show of hands diagnostic, a 60-second paired reflection, or a 1-question operator ordered pulse. That's how you become memorable without becoming a logistics problem. Now, execute is a shift from hope they'll like me to make it easy to book me again. So that's basically pipe. We got position, which is all about get clear enough to be easy to forward. We got invite, which is about run 2 lanes so you're not waiting on one big yes. Then we go prove. And this is all about replacing follow account with confidence signals. And lastly, but not the least, is execute. This is about removing friction so you get rebooked. And zooming out, that's why I call the bigger system brand to stage, because stages ain't just a nice to have, they are a business engine. In an AI age where everyone can generate content, getting in aligned rooms and building real human trust is the advantage. Now, here's one last thing. Pipe gets you booked, but what keeps a pipeline alive is what happens after you are on stage. Because organizers don't rebook you for a pitch. They rebook you because your talk becomes the one people reference in the hallway, the one they quote in the follow-up, the one that creates momentum. And that comes down to having a signature talk. If you want the next piece of the brand to stage engine, what a signature talk actually is and what is the difference between a one-off opportunity and a repeatable pipeline. Click right here and watch what is a signature talk and why you need one.